All right, eighth grade, welcome back to the third lesson in this volume unit, where today we're going to be looking at the sphere. Okay, so we will have accomplished number one by the end of this lesson, and then we will start moving on to the rest of this. So, look at a sphere. A sphere is round like a ball. Set of points in space that are a distance away from some center point. So every point on this sphere is going to be the same distance away from the center. So in this case, the height of the sphere is going to be 2 radiuses. It's going to be 2 radiuses high. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's called a hemisphere first, which is a half of a sphere. Okay? So now if we compare the cylinder with the hemisphere, and even with the cone, notice it's going to be less than the cylinder. It's going to hold less than the cylinder, right? Because these parts here are cut off, right? You following me? This piece and this piece are cut out from the cylinder, and it's less than the cylinder, but then it's also going to be more than the cone, because see here we've added in this part. Okay, so the cone was 1/3 pi r squared. The cylinder was pi r squared h. Okay, we had the cone was 1/3 of that. And now this is more than the cone, but less than the cylinder. And in fact, what it is it's, any guesses? Yes, you're right, 2/3 pi r squared h. But here, h is another r. Oh, cool. So instead of pi r squared h, it's pi r squared r, or r squared times r to the first. Everybody said r to the third. And here's the formula for a hemisphere. For a hemisphere, 2/3 pi r to the third. Again, because the height is just another radius. So, any questions yet? You know that chat is there for your questions. I haven't had any takers yet, but I hope to have somebody have a question someday, or at least just to be really good at math. Okay, so now let's compare the hemisphere and the sphere. So if this is volume of the hemisphere, half of a sphere, right? And that was 2/3 pi r squared times r, which is r to the third. Well, then this is like 2 of them. It's like take another one, flip it upside down, put it on top, right? So it's 2 of these. So this one would be, the sphere would be, let me write this up here. I didn't realize I had this. 2/3 times pi r cubed. This would be 2 times 2/3, which is 4/3 pi r cubed. So there's your formulas. The sphere and the hemisphere. So I'm going to do this. Is that fair? Whoops, put that in the wrong place and I drew it so perfect. Okay, why did I do it that way? Well, because I want to get to the next page where we have some examples. Okay, so here is a complete sphere. So Man, I'm writing my formula down until I have it memorized. 4/3 pi r to the third. So volume equals 4/3 times pi times r to the third. 5 to the third power. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Four thirds times 125. 4 times 125 is 400, is 500. Over 3 times pi meters to the third power. Remember to put your units in all of these measurements, okay? Now, if your question said use 3.14 for pi, then your volume is going to equal 500 times 3 times 3.14 meters to the third. If it said exact answer, exact answers have pi in them. Okay, so an exact answer would be this one with pi in it. If it says use 3.14 or approximate with a decimal, then you use this one. You're putting this in your calculator, of course. You need to do this last step that I'm not doing because I'm standing here. If you were in class, right, I'd have you all pushing the buttons on your calculator. Well, you are in class. You're just on the other side of that camera, okay? And so you should be pushing the buttons on your calculator, okay? And again, nobody has let me know yet if they needed one. I would make arrangements to leave one at the front desk for you. So you'll have to let me know. There are online calculators that you can use. There are calculators in every store. Nobody's rushing out buying all the calculators. Not like toilet paper, not like ground beef. Okay? Love you guys, miss you. This is kind of boring talking to my iPad, but anyway, here in the next problem, notice they've drawn the whole diameter. So 6.14 is not the number we need. The number we need is half of that, or 3.2, because they have drawn a diameter. We only need a radius. So the volume equals, that's right, 4/3 times pi times 3.2 to the third power equals. Okay, again, any questions, feel free to find me on chat, send me an email. On chat, you know, I'm enabling video chat and audio chat. So I'd be glad to help you, but hopefully this video is enough and you get it done. Thank you.